these predators, that's when they strike, because they know there's so much going on that they can find a way in.
We are going to start with breaking news tonight at 11. There are 2 sexual assault investigations happening at Health Park Medical Center tonight.
Let's get right over to ABC 7's Nestor Mato, who spent the night digging deeper into what the police report says.
A wonderful hospital and very, very caring doctors and nurses there.
Rhonda Watson has been treated in the past at Health Park Medical Center, where 2 sexual assaults were recently reported.
Very, very afraid. You know, I've been in situations like that where there's been men that are more powerful.
Reports say a hospital worker saw the attacks happen in May, but Lee health officials didn't tell deputies until Tuesday.
We're not really sure what those allegations are and what process the hospital has in place.
Officials will not say exactly what happened or who the victim is. In a statement, Lee Health tells us the suspect is not an employee of theirs.
They take advantage of people when they're the most vulnerable and in the places they feel safe.
This is just the latest sex allegation to rock Lee Health. In September, a Cape Coral hospital nurse was arrested, accused of raping a patient. In that case, he was fired.
It makes me, and I'm sure many women, feel very vulnerable.
In Lee County, Nestor Mato, ABC 7.
And Lee Health will not say why it took so long to report the crimes, only that it takes these allegations seriously and is cooperating with deputies.
Here's the big story tonight at 11. Cops say a man chose lap dances over little ones. Police say this guy abandoned 2 young children in the backseat of a car while he was inside a Fort Myers strip club and they were in the parking lot. Tonight, ABC 7's Simone Cucurullo found out how some quick thinking saved those kids.
He was in there for about 30 to 40 minutes.
While a 3-year-old and an infant were left here.
3-month-old boy who's not strapped in the car seat, upside down. His head is where his butt should be, feet up in the air.
Crying, getting the attention of a customer who called for help.
God only knows how much longer an upside-down infant has in a car seat.
Scarlett's general manager, Christopher Mays, says his staff and the customer helped the 3-year-old unlock the car from the inside, getting both kids out safely.
I can't even believe he did that. I'm shocked.
Brooke Twyman is a mother of 2 kids about the same age.
Kids should be taken away from him. Because he can do it once, he can do it twice. How many other times have he done it?
Jordan Jr. now faces child neglect charges.
I can't believe he's going to go to an establishment like that and leave him. He couldn't find a babysitter or something. I mean, that's just horrible.
Mays, who's also a father, says this is a first at Scarlett's, but
Is it a first for that parent? Probably not. I mean, if the 3-year-old is calm, cool, and relaxed, why? Why is he so fine being alone in the car like that?
Simone Cucurullo, ABC 7.
Just to be clear, we could not confirm that these 2 kids were Jordan's kids. DCF is investigating. We did confirm that. We also reached out to them but never heard back today.
Tonight, investigators have a suspect in a double murder investigation. They say Angel Carrasco killed Wendy Hernandez and another man early Sunday morning. A 3rd victim made it out but is still in the hospital tonight. Today, U.S. Marshals searched a home across the street from the incident but would not say why. Neighbors say they want Carrasco caught before something else happens.
Knock on your neighbor's door, make sure things are okay and stuff like that, because, you know, we had no idea that it was going on and it was literally 10 feet away.
If you have any information on where Carrasco is, call Crime Stoppers.
We also have some big news from Tampa tonight. Police there now say they have a suspect in that serial killer case and some video, too. Get a better look at it. The most recent murder happened yesterday, and this new surveillance video was just minutes before the shooting. The man who is spot shadowed right there is the suspect tonight. So far, there have been 4 deaths, and police think they're related. Despite being random, they're connected by geography. They are not connected by the victims themselves.
A man who was attacked in the Cape with a shovel in his own driveway is recovering tonight. Cape Coral police say 48-year-old David Reinhart left the victim bloodied and bruised. The victim says Reinhart pulled into his driveway, got out, and started pummeling him. The victim's wife witnessed part of the attack and then watched him jump into his Jeep and drive away, leaving her husband bleeding in the driveway.
I can't understand it for the life of me, why people need to stoop to that level.
Now I'm really concerned. You know, this is a quiet neighborhood with what's going on in Cape Coral, you know what I mean?
The victim said he did not know his attacker, but his wife said that the suspect was a former roommate and current co-worker, and was even at the home earlier in the day returning a chair.
A seasonal surprise for people in Southwest Florida. Some people are coming back down south for the winter and finding out someone broke into their home while they were gone. In the past month alone, there have been 79 reports of home burglaries in Lee County. Now, not all the burglaries involve seasonal residents, but the number of homes broken into does increase during the holidays. One property manager tells us thieves target houses that appear empty to avoid getting caught.
And they're seeing that things are not being maintained. They're seeing that the door has been compromised a little bit by somebody trying to finagle their way in. Or
Thieves have also been caught targeting houses where Irma debris has been left behind. They're seeing the debris that's not picked up, and they think, oh, maybe somebody's not home. This could be an easy target.
The village of Estero will not have any medical marijuana dispensaries. It is the second Southwest Florida community to vote against it. Collier County voted to extend a 6-month moratorium through June. In Florida, dispensaries will be treated like pharmacies and have to be 500 feet from a school. Collier County commissioners say they're worried those rules are too vague. But people who desperately need the medicine say they're worried about the time and money they're spending trying to get medical marijuana from other places.
If I can drive to Miami and it's legal in Florida, why wouldn't they allow it in Collier County or Estero?
Collier County commissioners hope the Florida legislature will make some headway on regulations soon, so they can also decide how to move forward in Collier.
All right, first it was plastic straws. Could plastic bags be next? A task force on Fort Myers Beach is looking to add plastic bags and styrofoam to the list of banned items on the beach. The Marine Resource Task Force is pushing for this, but it's not going to be easy. There's a Florida law that stops local government from banning the sale, use, or distribution of plastic bags and styrofoam. A state senator is hoping to change that law with a new bill that would allow coastal communities to make the decision on their own. Meantime, the task force is looking at giving businesses incentives to promote the sustainability idea.
Because this is a tourist area, and that's where they get their money. If it's dirty, nobody's going to come.
This business incentive idea still in the works right now. Once the task force finalizes a plan, though, they will present it to town council. Now, last week, Fort Myers Beach outlawed plastic straws. That ban applies to both businesses and people who bring the straws onto the beach. Leaders are saying this was a health hazard to animals and an environmental hazard, but the ban does not apply to pre-packaged drinks that have straws like a juice box or a Capri Sun.
If you have AT&T, you may have noticed you can't make any phone calls tonight, but there is a solution. The company says you need to reboot your phone and it should work again. If that doesn't work, a lot of social media posts suggest putting it on airplane mode for a few minutes and taking it off. The outage started earlier today with thousands reporting they were unable to make phone calls. A sex ad on Craigslist, complete with a woman's name and address.
Problem is, she didn't post it, but that did not stop dozens of strange men from knocking at her door.
And my husband's like, no, this isn't the place.
Wait until you hear who actually placed the ad and if they can be charged with a crime.
And a Naples high school teacher bashing women who say they were sexually assaulted. Get more on how he called them whores and still has a job.
And we are excited because there is a cool front on the map, although that's not the one you should be excited about. I'm going to get you more on when a cool front's going to drop through and give us a little bit of a chill. Might actually need long sleeves. Your Storm Warn 7 forecast is coming up in a few minutes.
Back now on ABC 7, this right here is Brian Milner, a Collier County high school teacher who, if you believe his Facebook post, thinks some sex assault victims are whores. He wrote this, calling the actresses who accused Hollywood producer Harvey Weinstein of rape and sex assault whores. He went on to say that Weinstein's victims sold their bodies for roles in movies. ABC 7's Alexis Santos found out tonight he is still a teacher at Lely High School and at FSW.
When we saw the post, we were really upset, to be honest.
A Facebook post by a teacher at Lely High School has students shaken up.
I'm kind of a little shocked because me and him have a good student-teacher relationship.
It's not fair what he said.
He is Brian Milner, a history teacher at Lely. In a post October 14th that our news-gathering partners at the Naples Daily News obtained, Milner uses a derogatory word in reference to the women who accused Harvey Weinstein of sexual assault. It says, quote, "These women sold their bodies and dignity for a movie part. Students I spoke to say they can't believe a teacher would talk this way online."
It's really unacceptable. I don't know why he's using profanity. I mean, lately it's a really good school, and you know, it doesn't deserve to have people like that, and mostly teachers, which are like the examples.
Milner is also an adjunct professor at Florida Southwestern State College. FSW says it does not have a social media policy, but Collier County Public Schools policy says employees must be respectful and professional in all communications, even for personal use. The policy also says violations may result in disciplinary action.
They got to do what they got to do.
He should apologize.
There were no disciplinary items in Milner's personnel file today. The school district says it does not comment on employee disciplinary actions. Reporting in Collier County, Alexa Santos, ABC 7.
Now, the Harvey Weinstein scandal blew a lid off the sexual harassment culture in Washington as well. Today, Alabama Senate candidate Roy Moore's attorney is questioning his latest accuser. She said she has a yearbook that Moore signed 40 years ago when she was just a teenager. And Moore was in his 30s. His campaign now wants to see that yearbook themselves.
We demand that you immediately release the yearbook, the actual document, so that we can see the lettering, we can see the ink on the page, we can see the indentations, and we can see how old is that ink. Is it 40 years old, or is it a week old?
The victim says she'll release the yearbook to an independent expert only if a Senate committee agrees to a hearing on the allegations.
Brand new at 11 tonight, the Speaker of the House, Paul Ryan, is now going to require every congressman in Washington, as well as their staffers, to take anti-harassment training courses. Today, Representative Jackie Speier from California accused 2 acting members of Congress of sexually harassing staffers.
The young staffer is a young woman, went there and was greeted with a member in a towel. It was a male, who then invited her in. At that point, he decided to expose himself. She left, and then she quit her job.
Speier never named names, but now people want those congressmen outed. There's also a new bill to change the way these situations are handled. Did you know? Right now, victims have to go through 30 days of mandatory counseling. They have to sign a non-disclosure agreement. They have to go through 30 days of mediation and then have a month-long cooling-off period before they can file a legal claim. In 20 years, Congress has settled 260 cases, costing you, the taxpayer, more than $16 million.
A woman says she found a meat patty stuffed with rat poison pellets in her front yard. Her 1-year-old dog was sniffing it. Look at the cutie there. Well, she picked it up and realized something was wrong. The pellets filled most of the meat patty and could have been deadly if the dog had eaten it. She says her dog is well liked in her Kansas City neighborhood.
He's a sweetheart. He's a 1.5-year-old Great Pyrenees pup. He doesn't bite. He barks from time to time, but I'm very careful about it.
The local animal control district says it hasn't gotten any other reports like this, but it is investigating.
Also new at 11, imagine multiple strangers showing up at your door expecting sex. That's the reality one Wisconsin woman faced.
2 truckloads of guys pounding on my door, going, "Is this the place? Is this the place?"
Becky Drake says this actually happened because of an ad on Craigslist promising sex, but she didn't put up the ad, and she was stunned when police figured out who did.
It was horrifying.
For Becky Drake, the last 3 weeks have been a living nightmare. All of this started in late October.
There were 2 truckloads of guys pounding on my door, going, "Is this the place? Is this the place?" And my husband's like, "No, this isn't the place." They're looking at our windows, looking in our doors.
Drake says strange men that she didn't know were showing up at her house at all hours of the day. One of them eventually showed her why. It was a Craigslist ad that included her picture, her address, and promises of sexual favors.
I was just devastated that someone would say that I'm doing sexual favors, and the kind of sexual favors were pretty sick.
Drake is very clear. She says she did not put the ad up or the 2 other ads that followed, but she did call police when the men started showing up.
They're showing up, responding to an ad, believing that this is all consensual.
Cops were able to talk to some of these guys who came.
I had a very cooperative subject that I dealt with that had responded to the ad.
They traced the IP address from the ads to a house one house down from Drake's, and they arrested Michael Wills and Julie Whitrock, who are now facing 7 charges, including stalking and identity theft.
I never thought it would have been one of my neighbors.
And Drake says she barely knows them or why they would target her.
No reason.
But she is sad and angry and scared.
Now, if the two are convicted, those two neighbors, of all the charges that they face, they could get up to 70 years in prison. Now, when you first think of Craigslist, you don't really think of it as being used as a tool for harassment, but it has been. As it turns out, posting fake Craigslist ads can land you in jail, and harassment can be a misdemeanor or even a felony.
Whole Foods prices are dropping again. The supermarket announced it's dropping prices on classic Thanksgiving foods like turkey and sweet potatoes. Whole Foods CEO John Mackey says these cuts aren't just a holiday treat, but a taste in the partnership that's to come. There's a Whole Foods at Mercado in Naples, and a Whole Foods on Daniels in Fort Myers is set to open next year. And it's not the first time Amazon cut prices at Whole Foods because Amazon bought it. Back in August, the company slashed prices on almost 500 grocery items in the store. Cheaper prices led to a spike in customers going inside Whole Foods, creating more competition for other grocery stores.